What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. I told you to start doing them weekly. What I'm going to be looking at today, in fact what you're going to be looking at with me, is the Ibanez. There it is. I know it says Gio on the headstock, but bear with me. It's the GRG140-WH. WH standing for white, because it's white. There's a shocker. I'll admit, until about a year ago, I refused to accept that I would own an Ibanez, and now I own four. And this guitar is the reason for it. It's quite amazing. I was talked into it. A friend of mine spotted it on Gumtree for 120 quid, and I was like, no, I'm not going to pay 120 quid for a guitar I don't even want. And then he pointed out that it was on eBay, so he said the guy's open to offers. So I made a ridiculously low offer. I offered him half that. I offered him 60 quid, and the guy said, give us 70 and I'll accept. I was like, yeah, fair enough. I had to drive about 40 minutes to go get it, but it was worth it, definitely. At first I asked him why he let it go for so cheap, because it looked like it was brand new. It still had the sticker on the back of the headstock, and it still had the original strings on it, no grime, no fret wear, pristine condition. And he said it belonged to a guy who had owned it for about a week and then died. So it was just, he'd put it on his wall when he got it and then dropped dead. Dead man's shoes. So aside from the little morbid story of how I came by it, I'm really happy with this guitar. I've never felt anything like it, except for other Ibanez guitars. It feels dense, and the corners are just so sharp. Not sharp like, you know, it's sort of uncomfortably sharp, but everything is cut to a perfect right angle. And the machining that went into creating the body and the neck is second to none. And I'm impressed with how much Ibanez have put into what is effectively their budget guitars. This is their Squire, the Gio series. When I first saw it, it was in its original state, and it was white on white on white, and it looked a little something like this. In fact, it looked exactly like that. And I thought, well, yeah, I'll get it. For 70 quid, I can modify it, do some tinkering around, see what I end up with. So the first thing that I knew I'd want to do is put new pickups in it. They were the only thing letting this guitar down. The reason behind that is that Ibanez pretty much know that whoever buys their guitars will be looking to upgrade the pickups, and they basically put them out there as a very good platform for experimentation. So that's what I did. I figured the pickups that came with it were a little bit muddy. As you can see, it's 2 single cores and a humbucker, and these ones are from Warman, which I have put on one of my other guitars. In fact, it's the one from my second review video of the Cruiser by Crafter. I really like the look of these ones, because you know how you can usually get the white pickups with just regular chrome slugs on them. I didn't fancy that. I wanted something that would like sort of really stand out in the black and white theme I was going for. So I went for what my friend called ship rivets, and they seem to be popping up absolutely everywhere now, so you can get hold of them pretty easily. And there's a lot of bite to these pickups. They sound really mean, but you know, roll off the tone and you can get sort of like the sweet mellow sounds that you want. Took it away with me for a week of recording, and this is the only guitar I took. So that tells you something, doesn't it, out of the 51 I've got to choose from. The scratch plate, I spent a while trying to find a black one online. They just don't make them for this model. I did a bit of searching around to see how much it cost to have one custom made, and I was looking at about £50, and I thought, I'm not going to pay £50 for a £70 guitar modification. So I thought outside the box a little bit. I didn't want to make my own because it was going to be a lot of hassle, and you know, with this guitar you're looking at so much precision that you can't really afford to have a scratch plate that's ever so slightly wonky. So I thought maybe I could spray it black. I've had some success with that in the past. I've done that with my Epiphone SG because I wanted a red scratch plate on it. I'll probably do a review on that at some point. And I thought no, because then there's, you know, time for waiting it to cure properly. There's the hit and miss chance that it's not going to turn out quite as nice as I wanted. So I started thinking a little bit further outside the box and decided to go with Adhesive Vinyl. And the stuff that I found happened to be a matte finish, almost like you find on... it just feels like plastic. It's really hard to tell on camera, but it's, you know, almost slightly bumpy. Feels like a less bumpy version of Tolex. And all I did was slap it on the front, and then sort of feathered the edges all the way around, and then folded it over under itself, and it's come out really nice, I think. I probably would do a neater job if I redid it, because as I say, it was just a bit of an experiment at first, and it's turned out quite nice, and I've ended up doing it on one of my other guitars as well. And then the finishing touch was adding these white speed knobs. I'm not a fan of the Fender Strat style knobs. They're just too hard to grab hold of. I like something big and chunky that you can just turn when you need to and then just carry on with your life. I think they're probably a little bit too garish, so I might find some more Telecaster style white knobs if I can. I might even end up making some myself, you never know. I also thought about turning the hardware black, just to sort of further the black and white theme, but with the headstock being black already, I didn't want to add black hardware onto that, because then it'd just be a bit overkill. And once it's the day I got this guitar, I decided that I wasn't going to do anything to the bridge, because that bridge is absolutely fantastic. It's been set up absolutely perfectly, and it means that you can palm vibrato, so just, you know, just ever so slight movements, and then obviously stick a wine bar in it. And I've been dive bombing all over the place with this, and there's been a little bit of slippage, but that's because I didn't do anything to the nut. There's no graphite in the slots or anything. And one added little feature, like to show that Ibanez are really sort of considering all factors, is the truss rod cover. If you just, it's really hard to, I don't know why this camera's so fuzzy. But you can just reach between and pull it sideways to adjust it, which means you don't have to remove the truss rod cover. You just open it up and make your adjustments. But I've not had to make any adjustments to this one. And that's about it. I've still got the white plate on the back. I might replace that at some point, or I might leave it as it is, still not sure. And it just feels good in your hands. Every single contour has been done perfectly. I don't know if it's just because it's all been machined, or whether it's something to do with one of the other processes, but I've never felt a neck that you just put in your hand and it feels like something that's denser than wood. It's bizarre. So, as usual, let's have a listen to how it goes. I'm going to get my friend Elliot in to play this one because he is an absolute Ibanez nut. All he owns is Ibanez guitars, and he's especially fond of the Prestige RG series. So, I couldn't think of anyone better to put the test to. So, see what we think.